suggests some methods to assist infertile couples to have children. Now let us learn some of the methods which helps the infertile couples to have children. Now the word infertility or the infertile couple, the meaning would be infertility is the inability of a couple to produce their young ones even after the unprotected intercourse. Now this might be due to abnormalities present in either of the parents, the male or the female, or might be even in both the parents. So there are some assisted reproductive techniques which help the infertile couples to have children. Now these techniques are in vitro fertilization and embryo transfer. It is called as IVF-ET. IVF stands for in vitro fertilization and embryo transfer. Now the name itself says in vitro fertilization means generally in case of mammals, fertilization is internal. It occurs within the female reproductive system. Now in case of IVF, the fertilization is occurring outside the female body. Now for that, both the gametes are collected. The egg and the sperm are collected and fertilization occurs in the culture media under sterile condition. Now this cell is called zygote. Now the zygote is allowed to develop into a particular embryonic stage. So there are various stages like morula, blastula. Now once the embryo is formed, which is between 8 to 16 cell stage, now this embryo will be transferred into the mother. So here you can observe the gametes are collected from both the parents. Fertilization occurs in the test tube. They are allowed to grow further, and these embryos during 8 cell to 16 stage they are collected and transferred into the uterus for the further development. So this is called as IVF and ET. So here the egg can be a donor, egg can be collected from the donor or from the mother, and the same thing with the sperm. Either it can be collected from the donor or from the father. The fertilization occurs in the petri dish under controlled condition. Embryos are allowed to form and then transferred into the either into the surrogate mother or into the couple. Now zygote intrafallopian transfer. The name itself says zygote. So here the egg from the woman is removed. At the same time the sperm are also collected. The fertilization is done in vitro in a culture medium under sterile condition. Now in this case, the zygote which is formed after fertilization, the zygote would be transferred into the fallopian tube. So here we can see zygote, the gametes are collected, fertilization occurs outside, zygote is formed, the zygote would be transferred, and so that it moves to the uterus and implantation occurs. The next assistive reproductive technology is intracytoplasmic sperm injection, also called as ICSI. Now it is a method of injecting the sperm directly into the egg. So here the cytoplasmic means they are talking about the cytoplasm of the egg. So the sperms are transferred into the cytoplasm of the egg so that fertilization is ensured. Now this zygote is allowed to grow for a particular stage of the embryo in the laboratory. Then the embryo would be transferred into the uterus so that it gets implanted. The next technique is artificial insemination. Now artificial insemination is a method of transferring semen from a healthy male donor into the vagina or the uterus of the recipient female. It is employed when the male parent is not able to inseminate the female or has a lesser sperm count. So these are the assistive reproductive techniques which helps the infertile couples to have children.